Okay, so let's start here. When Nate says 15 to 20%, which you floated, what does air travel in the U.S. look at a 20% cut?
So first off, yesterday we had 81 staffing triggers with air traffic controllers across the airspace. You've reported there was a whole slew of cancellations and delays across the airspace. That trend line is getting worse, right? More controllers aren't coming to work day by day. The further they go without a paycheck because Democrats refuse to pay them. And so as I look 2 weeks out, as we get closer to Thanksgiving travel, listen, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have air travel slow to a trickle. As everyone wants to travel to see their families, I think we're going to see air traffic controllers, very few of them coming to work, which means, yes, you'll have a few flights taking off and landing at our different airports across the country. But the thousands of flights that happen every day to move people around the country for this great American holiday, it's not going to happen. You're going to have massive disruption. I think a lot of angry Americans, and I think we have to be honest about where this is going. It doesn't get better. It gets worse until these air traffic controllers are going to be paid.
Okay, so the polling shows that most Americans think the blame lies with the White House, with this administration, with Republicans in Congress. I want to read you a headline from Slate. They say this: Trump thinks canceled flights, long TSA lines, and chaotic airports will end the shutdown, but he's wrong, they say. Your holiday plans may get disrupted because the president wants to own the libs. They add best of luck to the secretary in this game of airplane chicken. So what's your response to Slate?
I mean, it's frustrating to hear liberals. It's not just Slate. It was Chuck Schumer was throwing shade our way, if you will. We have done all we can to make sure we minimize disruption, that we keep the airspace safe. And again, I didn't create the problem. It's Senate Democrats who did. We went so far as I had a text from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth yesterday, who's made an offer that he has air traffic controllers in the reserves. If we could deploy them, and I don't know that we can, we got to see what airspaces they worked in, but he'll step in and try to provide some relief in the skies. We're trying to minimize the pain for the American people. And in response to Slate, there's only one side that has voted every single time, 14 times, to keep the government shut down. It's only Republicans who have voted to open it up. And so to think that Republicans are to blame who vote to open the government and Democrats vote to shut it down, the Republicans would be blamed for that? Again, I think it's Democrats have a little more power with liberal media across the landscape, and that can be the perception of the American people. But Donald Trump in this administration, we're trying to minimize the pain on the American people and make it better for travelers. But in the end, I'm not going to have many tools left in my toolbox, Shannon. It's only going to get worse. And again, we try to minimize the risk, but when we do that, flights are delayed and canceled.